Hello, welcome to my channel. This is a video about how to tell truth from a lie. So this can also help you with your intuition, your psychic abilities, how you make decisions, and it's coming from a different place that most of us are taught in the society, either through family or religion or now corporations. And it's more about you're connecting with the truth within yourself. Okay, so it can be your truth or it can be the truth. So if I drop a ball and it rolls across the street, and I say I dropped the ball and it rolled across the street, that's the truth. Or a ball was dropped by somebody, say somebody else dropped a ball and it rolled across the street, then I saw. So we see what we see, we know what we know, we feel what we feel. Now, your thoughts and your feelings aren't always the truth, but this has to do with a knowingness deep inside of you. And so I'm going to talk about how this happens, how we may think we know the truth, or we're trying to figure out guidance or intuition, but it eludes us because we're not sure. So if you have a personal investment in an answer to a question, if it affects your money, your relationships, your security, your well-being, maybe you don't want to know the truth. So how much do you want to know the truth? So let's talk about how this happens, and then, like I said, some things that we can do about this. There used to be more talk in political circles about awakening. Now, not so much because it's been used against us and the mainstream media doesn't use it. Even some spiritual people do, but even people who are political and spiritual don't really use that because what's happening is that we're losing that connection, because the knowing of the truth is about your awakening. It's become about becoming unprogrammed. So let's talk about how we become programmed. Okay. And so you may have it in your family or religion, that this is the truth. Your family believes that, your parents believe that these people are bad, or that money always comes and goes, there's never enough. So there are belief systems that you may have consciously or unconsciously download it. You may decide that your family belief systems are not correct. Say you come from a family which is prejudice and you're not. So that means you're a older, more evolved soul. You're not as easily programmed. So newer souls are more easily programmed or lied to and just take things at face value, or need an authority to tell them what's what, so they can make, like a child. But as we grow up spiritually, as we grow as a soul, we're better able to determine a truth from a lie. So it could be in religion that you are told in religious training that this is the way the universe is, that there's one God, or that there's many gods, and that there's, if you sin, you're going to hell, there's a hell, or you should be afraid, or, whatever it is that the training is, that is the truth. Is that the truth? Is what your family believes the truth or your truth? Or is it a belief that they believe in? It doesn't make they have the right to believe whatever they want to believe. But so as we get into the weeds here, it can become a little more complicated. Like, wait a minute, what are my beliefs? Have you examined? I do this in my angel healing class. We're going to be looking at our beliefs around money, our beliefs around healing. Now, I've been in places in the world, and you can believe this or not, where I've seen And I've also experienced in my own practice miracle healings, how people heal through energy and frequency, how you see a spirit, you see an angel, you see, or how you know what you're being told in clairaudience or clairvoyance, seeing, clairaudience, hearing, or downloading, knowing, or what you're feeling. Is that true? Is how do you tell the truth? And if you're being told that that's wrong or evil and you can't do that, or you don't know what you're doing, or what you're seeing and what you're hearing is not what you're seeing or hearing. Okay. So in a family, say your mother is angry and mother is yelling, and you as a small child say, Mommy, why are you angry? And your mother yells at you, I'm not angry. Be quiet. Then you may start to think, or like Uncle so-and-so is drunk and falling down, and everybody says, no, he's just tired. He's not drunk. Or someone insults you, and then they say, I didn't insult you. You're too sensitive. You see what I'm saying? So you get invalidated, because most kids, when they come in, besides being an old soul, most kids, even young souls, pretty much are just from the other side, and they haven't been programmed yet to believe all the stuff that isn't true. So they haven't been told you need to buy these products or do these things or act like this or wear these clothes or have your yard look a certain way or act like this or always be polite or whatever. Maybe it's an angry family. You need to be angry about everything. And, so there's programming that happens about the way the world is. Even our written history is, we're finding out through archaeologists discovering sites and things that aren't in the history books. So then they try to cover that up, because it's easier to cover it up than explain that, oh, we were wrong, and now we have to rewrite history. So, or when you die, it's over. You're a meat suit and then you're dead. That's another lie. Or, I'm not telling you what to believe, because seeing is believing, but do you believe what you see? Do you know? So I have claircognizance, which is a knowing where I download what I know. So our history is incorrect. We're told to buy things that maybe we don't need, or that this will do that and this will do that, and you need to buy this product or take this pill or whatever. So look at, is the person telling you this making a profit? So I'm not selling something here. I'm not saying, so is this, I just want you to be able to tell truth from a lie. Okay. So then also being very ethical and being honest with ourselves. How are we, like, what is more important, that we make money, that we protect our secrets? I don't want anybody to know that I eat, gallons of ice cream when no one's watching. So we're hiding, but we don't need to share that with other people. But are we honest with ourselves? I'm an emotional eater. Are we reflecting and looking at ourselves? Because I know I've been an emotional eater, and I'm much less than I used to be, but I love food. I know that. So I've gone through whole big things about that. But anything that I'm doing that I'm embarrassed about, that if people saw, am I lying to myself about that? So you've got to be honest, be able to be honest with yourself, then hopefully God or your guides, and then other people. Okay. But if you don't have honesty within yourself, if you're not able to admit, maybe I was wrong. Can you be wrong? Can you be objective? Can you be neutral? Can you be up in your sixth chakra or your crown chakra? These are energy centers where you're more neutral to people, places, and things, so you can hear the truth. I used to have a hearing problem, and I would go, what? Huh? I couldn't hear people in my 30s and 40s because I couldn't hear the truth. So are you grown up enough to know the truth? Because if you're asking for the truth, you may just well get it. Are you able to handle the truth? It became more important for me to know what the truth was than to be right or to be perfect or, you know. So I went through a whole process of finding myself, waking up, and realize what is important to me. Know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. To know yourself, to accept all of the parts of you that maybe you're ashamed of, or maybe you don't, maybe other people don't accept, or maybe you want to push away. You made a mistake. We all make mistakes. So can you love yourself? Can you look at yourself? That is waking up and see the truth. Because if you don't know who you are, you don't know what the truth is, how can you be who you are? Then how can you love yourself if you don't know who you're loving? Or let other people see who you are? So how honest are you with other people? Are you willing to, and I've had teachers that told me, you're a liar, you're a manipulator. I was like, me, because I grew up in a family where people just lied. Are you drunk? No, of course not. You're imagining. You didn't see me drinking. You know, I grew up in a family that didn't value ethics and morals. They valued being right or hiding their secrets or getting attention or getting, love or getting validation. That was the primary focus. So how much can you love yourself and be honest with yourself? It doesn't mean you need to tell everybody you meet on the street who you are, but do you know who you are? Can you trust yourself? So the first one is to trust yourself. Because if you don't have honesty, if you can't be honest with yourself, how can you trust yourself? If you can't trust yourself, how can other people trust you? So trust is a sacred thing. So if people know that you're going to tell the truth, even when it's hard, they know they can trust you. You can set a boundary. You can tell the truth in a loving way. I'm not telling you to say things to hurt people. We need to consider how we're affecting other people, but we also need to be honest. So for that, I always go to creator source. Like, what would you have me do here? Because when we value our truth, our ability to trust ourselves and others to trust us, then we have grown to a space of awakening where we can no longer be deceived or fooled by others. So a lot of it, is about fear. Are we going to be loved if people know who we are? Are we going to be okay if we recognize we have mistakes? Are we going to, when we recognize how really terrified we are of ourselves and not being loved or not, so these are not, these are things to look at, but it's all about valuing truth over and trust and ethics over getting something. Like because that's what children do. We learn to manipulate. So you get somebody to like you by saying all the things or looking in a certain way. Then they like you and you have them. But do you really? Because they don't know who you are. So what I realized in my life is that my whole life had been a fake and a phony, that I was playing a role or acting because I was desperately afraid of being abandoned, being on my own. And I didn't know how to love myself, so I needed to get it from other people. And to do that, I had to lie. I see that some children can't tell the truth to the parent because the parent will punish them. That happens in my family. So they're training that child how to be a liar. Okay? So this happens also with corporations and companies telling you you have to buy this, it's going to do this, and then you buy it, and then it just breaks, and it's not true. So we do not become cynical. Do not, how do you know? How do you know? Let people earn your trust. Okay, that's one. Okay. When you're listening to somebody and the energy goes flat, there's something inside of you. When you are present and you are awoke, you're awake. Okay. How do you do that? By deciding you want to know the truth, by deciding to be present. There are many spiritual healings and activities you can do, prayer and meditation, um, uh, to awaken yourself. So that's kind of another video. And awakening is happening anyway, so it's going to happen anyway. But when you listen to somebody lie and you're awake, it just sounds flat, and there's something inside of you that just goes, no, that does not sound right. Or you can also do this by, or know this by how you feel. How do you feel around a person or a place or a situation? Your feelings and your thoughts will give you information, okay? If you are grounded and your energy field is pretty clear, and if you've grown up without maybe a lot of abuse, illness, or accidents, you're more grounded and clear than most. Or you could be more gullible because you're a younger soul, so that's true too. Or if you've been through abusive situations and illness and you've survived that and you've reclaimed yourself and you're awakened and you're loving yourself, you'll know better about your feelings. Like, is this feeling mine, or am I picking it up from the people that I'm around? And trusting your feelings, trusting your intuition. Your body is your biggest divination tool. So I remember I was going, someone asked me on a date, and this person was really not a good person. I found that out later. But right before our first date, my back just gave out. I couldn't get off the floor. My body was telling me, your body will tell you, I'm tired. I don't feel good around a situation or an agreement or even a person or a place. Your body can give you chills when you're getting a truth, can make you feel like, yeah, that just, my body is energized and I'm excited and I'm happy. Or my body is like, oh. And even your body, if you notice your body movements when you're around people, like, are you recoiling? Are you stepping back? Are you trying to protect yourselves? Are you overwhelmed? So just notice the way your body is moving. Are you moving away from, oh, I'm afraid, you're moving away? Or are you moving towards? Your body will, if you just observe your body will knows the truth, okay? And your body will present its bill if you're not listening to the truth. Like, this food is bad for you, it makes you feel bad, but you override that because somebody said, oh, it's probably okay. Your body knows. Your body is your biggest divination tool, okay? So we have, does it sound flat? How do we feel? What are we thinking? What are the messages that we're getting? And our body. Now, some people use a pendulum, which is a stone or a crystal on a string. And to use a pendulum to get answers, you really have to know who you are and be grounded and cleanse the pendulum. And you might want to use prayer and meditation or get grounding exercises so that you're getting a truthful answer. A lot of people do pendulums and they have spirits or energy in their space that isn't truthful, and then they get a wrong answer. So to get a good answer on a pendulum, you have to be neutral. You have to be willing to hear the truth, okay? And then and be grounded. And then I would say, use your, be a skeptic, be an open-minded skeptic, but don't do a divorce or a big move or close a business or something because your pendulum said. Now, come on. You might have a spirit in your space or somebody else's energy that is controlling you, that you don't even know who that person is. It could be someone from a past life. So be very careful when you're working with a pendulum. Although it's fun to see if you can get an answer, it's something to play with. So if you get an incorrect answer, something you see or hear in your intuition or guidance or through your pendulum, or even your body is giving you, well, bodies are probably the number one way to know. Or so know would be claircognizant, you're knowing of what is true. So just be careful with the pendulum. But it is something fun to play with. And if you make a mistake, it doesn't mean that you can't know the truth from a lie. It means that there's something that you need to clear or learn about that situation. So it's okay to make mistakes because we're here learning. And that's what learning is recognizing that everything is here to teach you. Okay? So another way to get the truth from a lie is to ask in prayer and to sit and breathe and be still and quiet and let your space kind of, there will be mind chatter. I teach meditation in a lot of my classes or grounding exercises or in my private sessions. And so you can just get quiet so you can ask. And then getting quiet or meditating is listening to the answer. But it's important to ask. If you ask for, show me the truth about this, or show me what would my higher self do, or what would Creator have me do with this situation, show me the truth about this person or this situation, then sit back. So that's a prayer. You're asking, you're communicating with your higher self or your guides. And then you're waiting to receive the answer. And so you're wanting to receive the answer of the truth. And usually when I do that, I'm quite surprised about what I get. Now, you could get random chatter because we live in energy soup and so not everything is a message, but you'll know when you hear it, it'll be like, yeah, that feels right. That was the answer I did not expect. It's usually something you didn't expect or not something that you wouldn't have said, because your guides and your higher self are very intelligent, and they'll tell you things in a way that really make you think of like, oh, okay. Sometimes even things have double meanings. Like they'll say, okay, Cookie, and you'll be like, how'd you know that my nickname is Cookie and I haven't used that for 20 years? And also, you're giving me messages that I'm eating too much sweets, or something like that. Okay. So there's no wasted message. It's just how we're interpreting it. And you may make a mistake in interpreting your message, but that's how you learn, is by trial and error. Okay. So there's another really fun way that's an energy tool that you can use to know a truth from a lie. And this was taught to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to visualize an energy tool. And that tool is a rose. And if you don't see it, just look at it. Just imagine it. Just play with energy like you're a kid. Okay. So when you're playing with energy, it's okay to have fun and be like a kid and imagine things. So we're going to imagine a rose. And a rose is a tool that will work for you. And I would start with, say a prayer: guides, higher self, angels, most highest beings, please show me, help me to know truth from a lie, and show me a rose. So imagine a rose, like you could do a gold rose. I would probably not do white, red, or black or gray, because those colors tend to be charged or too kind of trance medium, we'll say, which is a whole nother word that I haven't talked about, but it just pick like a yellow, pink. A red is probably okay if you're not an angry person, but don't do black or white because it's too easy for energy to hide in there. Or don't do gray, please. You can do a clear rose, but just imagine, if you close your eyes, imagine there's a rose. And just sit and breathe, kind of ground yourself. And come up to the center of your head. If you put your finger on your forehead, you can come up to your sixth chakra and just sit there and kind of observe how you feel and look at your rose. Okay. Oh, and ask the angel. I see Archangel Michael coming in, so he'll help with that. He'll help anyone who asks. There are other angels and guides here, your own personal guides and angels. Okay. So ask this rose. So rose, show me if the answer is a lie or not true. Show me. Does it fall down? Does it shake? Does it bloom? Show me no. Okay. Just the first thing you get. It's very simple. Okay. And then show me a yes. Okay. So for instance, for no, mine fell over. For yes, mine took a bow and said yes. Okay. So you're playing, you're having fun. So this is called a truth from a lie rose. And you can play with that and just ask, like, am I going to get a parking spot in the shade today? And let the rose tell you. Or is my phone going to ring today 3 times? Or, just do fun things. If you get it wrong, it's okay, because you're playing. Remember, you're playing. And it's like practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the more it works for you. And it's kind of a fun exercise you can do. And it isn't like, oh, it's not working, or, oh, I don't see it. Just visualize it. And visualizing is a way to open your clairvoyance. So you want to be able to visualize what you want, right? You could visualize, you could make it a Christmas tree, or you could say, flash the light. Now, if that seems too much for you, you're just not a visual person, you could also ask, show me the truth. And you'll hear a song, you'll get a chill, you'll have a dream, you'll see a bumper sticker, a bird will come close by. So those are other ways to receive guidance. And once again, please join me in my angel class, December 6th. It's on my website, and that'll be super cool. We'll be doing more fun stuff like this. And thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and like. And I really appreciate you. And these videos usually come out every Thursday. Sometimes I don't know how to schedule it correctly, or it's Mercury retrograde and they come out earlier. But usually they come out Thursday. And this will also be coming out on my newsletter. So you can go on my website and join my newsletter. And in case anything happens to my YouTube channel, that's another way you can stay in touch with me. Okay? Thank you so much. Hey, I'm sending you so much love. And good job watching all the way to the end. And leave in the comments, how do you tell truth from a lie? How has this been helpful to you? And have you had any experiences with knowing in your body, or asking for something, or from your family of origin? How did you grow up? What was your relationship to the truth, or within religion or government or whatever? Okay, so leave that in the comments. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.